G'day, hope you guys are all having a good one. Today's video, I'm going to be covering a new update with Gaea, really. So for anybody who is interested in the future of Gaea and what that's going to look like and what we can be seeing in hopefully the next version, that being Gaea 2.1, or at least relatively major-ish version. Maybe they do a couple extra bug fixes prior, but yeah. This will be covering what they have here. So, as you can read, public early access preview. Yeah, so they have quickly, as of I believe, was this yesterday, but technically today for me because I think time zones, released this new, what do you call it? Like a development post, really, where you can see what they have planned for the 2.1 release, and I believe you can actually download and check it out now. Key thing to, preface, as it will be explained, and I'll quickly mention at some point when I get up to it, I believe this is all, public early access preview. It is a preview. It's not like a full-on release. It's not, it's not completely here yet. So if you're interested or there's a specific feature that you like absolutely desperately need, maybe worth, checking it out, trying it, seeing if that works for your, what you're trying to do. But at the same time, preview, there are bugs. It may be more buggy, probably, than the base version, but ideally, hopefully, with this preview, everyone can find out, find all the small bugs, and they can fix that for the release. But yeah, getting into what is included. So yeah, 100 fixes and a heap of like small changes and some reasonably decent sized changes that I saw. So the key ones being build regions. I don't know if that was a thing in Gaea 1, but this should be pretty good. I cannot remember. I've never played, I never used that in Gaea 1 myself, so hey, maybe they did have it and I missed it, but at the same time, should be pretty cool. So that means, I don't know if it just exports the one part, or it's like you can set like the whole region being one. I guess it would be you just exporting a portion of the terrain, I would assume. Then you got the mesh workflow overhaul, import meshes as height fields, and export height fields as meshes more efficiently, because of course that was already the case, but everything was pretty much stuck around OBJs. So expanded support for FBX, GLTF as well will be good, and other industry formats. As OBJs are nice and they're a bit more compressed than things such as FBX, but it is limiting, as not all programs support OBJs as nice as FBX is, and some only support GLTFs, and thus. So this will be pretty good as well. Yeah, once again, I cannot remember if Gaea 1 had... It's been a minute since I've used Gaea 1, to be honest, but meshes, inputting meshes, as if you guys watch my GeoGen content, then you'll realize that in the last update, when I was checking the last update stuff for GeoGen, I found out that there was importing meshes. I don't know, that was probably a thing prior, but I had no clue that was a thing. I think World Creators had that for a bit, I believe. I could be wrong. But at least World Creators going like full on into importing meshes, not even just as height fields, they're doing full on mesh importing, which is interesting. So good to see Gaea also including that, as that's becoming a pretty big thing. So once again, I mean, I've kind of gone over the pros of that in the GeoGen video, but for once again, like, you're doing roads, or you're doing, I don't know, maybe you're doing a texture and you need a specific, part, then you can kind of do that. And I don't know, there's quite a bit that you can do with it. I feel like, once again, it is limited because it's a height field. So, if you wanted to do a road with cars on it, it's still treated like a height map, so you're going to have like some weird banding and stuff if it's too vertical, but yeah, just got to make sure that you're not 90-degree angles and stuff. But yeah, that'll be great. New tools and nodes. Unlock creative possibilities with new nodes, custom overlays, turntable animations, and tangent space normals, which would be awesome. But yeah, we've resolved over 100 issues, making this the most stable and reliable version. Okay, so maybe this preview might actually be potentially even more stable than... I guess potentially these new features might be a bit buggy, but at least maybe the base version of Gaea is then potentially more stable. I saw a bit in the Discord of some people saying, wow, this is actually really, really stable, so that's good. So with this build region, I don't know, I'll have to check it out. I have not checked out the stuff, but I'd be intrigued. So as you can see, you can like export region 1 and export region 2, and that's, you know, you can have covering different sizes, I guess, of the whole terrain. But I would be intrigued to know if you can... I would assume that these are exporting... yeah, I guess there's no real way to do it, to be honest. Oh, I was just thinking, something that would be pretty cool. This is not something that is like something that you can do. And I'm just trying to think. I don't think there would be any bonus to it, but if you had like... unfortunately, like, if we're talking mesh-wise, you could do it, but like a height map and textures and stuff, you couldn't do it. But having like literal difference, like variance in resolution, so you can have like some parts holding, you know, if you have like a mountain and then it sort of like, you know, goes out around the edges and flattens out, you know, obviously you just want the mountain to retain most of the resolution and stuff like that. You don't really need as much resolution for the more flatter areas. Potentially you could have decreased file sizes and stuff if you're just gonna, if you'd like flat it out, sort of how you can do like optimized mesh exports. But then, you know, when you really think about it, you can't do that. Like, it's, even if it's like reduced quality, if it's still 8K, it's still 8K, you know what I mean? So it's kind of relevant. If I take 1,000 screenshots and have a heavily compressed screenshot and then I resize it to be 8K, it's still an 8K image, which is unfortunate. But that would have been something cool, but it's just not something that I don't think is, at least that I know of, possible. Or maybe it makes a difference because less colors and stuff like that, but I'm not too sure. It's, regardless, going to be pretty great though. So you can export like parts of terrains, and if you're trying to do like, you got a massive terrain and you're just trying to export like small portions, like maybe bits of a mountain of this big larger terrain, you can... you know, there's going to be parts that you probably don't need as high of a resolution, and yeah, don't really need to spell that out. New uplift primitive node, that's going to be pretty cool. I think there's a couple ones that are similar to this. I think there was a new one that actually came in 2.0, so... but still, new nodes are going to be great, and even if they are, you know, relatively similar to some of them, you know, they all have their small differences. This one's going to be pretty cool, so you can get like a lightning and flow patterns. I feel like, I mean, if you have like a really big terrain, this could give you like a real insane like river system. I don't know, let me see if I can search something up. Not entirely what I was trying to exactly go and find, but sort of like this. I don't know. I searched river system, and I guess, like, you know, sometimes you get some real complex stuff where they start like bridging out, of course, from you know, a source, and it just spreads and spreads and spreads. Yeah, kind of like that. That's pretty cool then. So maybe you can turn it into rivers. I mean, they have an example of it being used as a canyon, which I guess is, you know, similar. So that's pretty cool. I feel like there's quite a lot that you can do with that. Overhauled weathering node for creating highlights and lowlights on existing texture maps. That's going to be pretty helpful. Watercolor node for quickly colorizing water bodies. Once again, also helpful. You know, there's a couple ways that I've done in the past and I've seen other people do, where you just turn like where the water would be into, you know, part of the terrain, and then you can mask those regions and color them that way. But having a node explicitly for that is just going to make life so much easier, because you don't have to worry about heap and masking and whatnot. So if that all works well, that's going to be pretty great. Import meshes with the object node. As I mentioned, you do get, of course, the issue with banding, so you need to be careful with or whatever you want to call this. I'm calling it banding, but you can call it whatever. Maybe it's got a better name than that, I don't know. But yeah, once again, it's got its uses, can be pretty cool. Just, it's once again one of those cases of sometimes it'd be nice if, you know, you got, what do you call it? Vector displacement maps. If, you know, terrain software could support vector displacement, that would be, I mean, the limitations are, well, not there anymore, I guess. So that'd be pretty cool. Overlay support, including custom overlays. That's going to be pretty great. I feel like, even for, like, yeah, visualizing distances and sizes and whatnot, that might actually be quite helpful. Turntable animations to show off your terrains. That's pretty good. Instead of having to spin around, you can, I guess it just gives you more you can work with when you want to show off what you've made. Stats and information readout showing node details. Yeah, it should be pretty good, I guess, finding out where, you know, what might be limiting your, like, more information into what might be limiting your, you know, what's taking a lot of your RAM and information. So should be pretty good. A bit more, I guess, listed out instead of having to go, oh, man, where is it? Where is it? We're trying to scroll through the node. Improved, cleaner gradient editor and color picker. That should be pretty good, actually. Okay, so the CL, like the clutter node, does color picking. That's pretty good. So I've never used that before. I've been pretty happy with the existing gradients that come with the program, but in other programs I have used color picking, and that is also quite viable, especially if you're trying to get exact colors. Easier navigation and measurement tool access. That should be pretty helpful, actually. I gotta be honest, I don't think I've ever really, I've never gone out of my way, but I don't think I've really found, unless the measurement tool is new. So, like, yeah, I've never used that myself, so that's gonna make it so much easier to find some of those things that may be tucked away. Bomber now supports grid patterns with jitter. That's pretty good as well. I don't really use Bomber myself. Overhauled UI for Build Swarm with support for both modern Windows terminal and the classic command prompt. Should be great. I personally don't know if there's like if one gets, you know, better performance, or if there's a particular reason that's you know, maybe you get better performance, maybe you know, there's some limitations with something, but that should be good regardless. Build profiles, which should be great, so that goes into the whole batch processing and stuff like that, so you can process multiple things at once. But yeah, once again, you know, I think, you know, I don't know if you'd want to use this necessarily if you're trying to do something like professional, like you're trying to, you know, this is for your job. Potentially you probably wouldn't want to, unless, you know, like I said, there's something in particular here that you kind of just need. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, if you're really into you know, supporting Quad Spinner, and you know, you just want to check out what everything goes like and how everything is, you know, it'd be great, because I do know they have talked about it in the Discord server that, you know, feedback is always much appreciated, and a lot of times, you know, there's not there's not as many bug reports as there should be. There's a lot of people that run into issues, but there's not so many people creating dedicated like bug reports and stuff like that. So if people can do that, then that's always going to be super helpful. So yeah, it should be out roughly, provide any subsequent features. Yeah, so out by the end of February, and provide any subsequent features based on your feedback in March. So not too far away actually. We're almost about halfway through. But yeah, so you can download it now. I will link this in the description. There's a heap of release notes. I probably won't go into all of these. They do mention that, yeah, so your files are not backwards compatible. And I do not, can't remember where they mention it, but I do, yeah, here we go. So it's a zip file and everything's like stored within the zip file. So you can have both versions installed at once. Don't worry about like, overlapping the normal Gaea 2.0. So yeah, there's a heap of stuff here. I'll quickly scroll through. Most of these are pretty similar to what was stated prior, and it's just a little bit more detail, and some small things that I haven't mentioned. So yeah, so like sky editor, overlay images on terrain. That's pretty cool actually. But yeah, that was the this here, overlay support, I'm assuming. Stuff like that. Some new nodes, AB comp here. Lichtenberg, which was the lightning thing, import 3D, transform 3D, so manipulate terrains in 3D space, watercolor, colorization of water elements, loop nodes, introduce looping functionality, mathx. I don't know, I think GeoGen added something similar, unless this is something different, but there was a loop per se for nodes. In GeoGen, the last version. MathX, custom math-based processing node. I'd be intrigued to know what that is. Uplift terrain primitive and mesh warp. Some new improvements and stuff. So progress animations, more accurate says. Stuff like that. One thing I would be intrigued. I'm just quickly scrolling through. So I could be wrong. Let me actually open it up. This is just I'm just doing my own thing sort of here now. But one thing for those of you who have been using Gaea for a bit, Gaea 2.0, since it's released, I think this whole time since release, let's just use I guess Canyon for example. Every single time AO has crashed. I want to do a quick check because I believe it still crashes. Was it referred to as a clay render? Yeah, interesting. Okay, so AO or clay render still crashes, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure whether it actually what happened, because prior to launch, I forgot his name, but one of the devs was showing off some of the stuff and showed off the whole clay render results, and I do believe at one point in time when I was testing prior to launch, the clay render or AO, whatever you want to refer to it as, it did work. So I'm not sure, what's happened to why it's still. I guess it's not like a super important thing, but in the sense of like, it's just a visualizer. It's for another way of seeing how it all looks. But at the same time, it is something that's like, it's an option there, and that's a definite crash. That's something that I'd love to see them, do. Maybe it's a pain to do, and it's probably better to add and, I guess, get to their, feature complete Gaea 2.0. with all the stuff that they plan to do, like God mode and whatnot, which I believe hopefully is coming out this year. But yeah, that's something that I'd love to see be improved as well. That's pretty much this whole time always been a consistent, definite crash. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this has been informative on what they have added. Go check it out if this is something that you're after. And hey, maybe you didn't know about this prior, and then, glad that I have informed you if this interests you. Otherwise, yeah, flick a comment if there's anything you want to see. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.